Okay, you love what? What were you going to say?
I don't know what I was about to say.
What dumb little
actually.
thing were you about to say?
Know.
Okay, awesome.
It's always something, though.
Iggy, you have to settle in, Diva.
Yeah, she's... What? I'm shocked you started recording, actually, with this going on. See?
She misses you.
No, she just wants to go through the gap between the couch. It has nothing to do with me.
You can't. The couches are too close together. You can't go through there.
See, she didn't give a shit. Okay, maybe
Pat
she
the
does.
couch next to you.
Iggy. No, she's not paying attention.
Woo her. Be better at wooing her.
I'm not good at wooing anyone. Ask any woman ever.
Do your best. Iggy, you can't do that. I don't know why she wants to walk.
If you have to woo some... Is that why they call them woo men? Boy, we're off to a rough start.
I hate men.
I
saw a clip of Drew Off Wallow today, and she was talking about. She was like,
Wallow?
She was like, you know what makes me so mad? Seeing a group of men laughing. She said, "What the fuck are you laughing about?
How dare you?"
And she said, "You're probably giggling because you just called somebody a slur. What is there to giggle about in the world? Have you turned on the news recently? Have you seen the state of the world?" And she was like, "If I see a group of girlies or gays, I'm like, oh, that looks like fun. But if it's a bunch of men, no, I'm mad that you're laughing." He's upset. What else were you going to say? You sound like you're about to...
Oh, you have stray kittens down by your dumpster.
I know.
They're like almost cats now. They're getting big.
They're little babies. And the HOA emailed everybody a couple months ago and was like, stop feeding them. They will return if you continue to feed them.
Well, but if you stop feeding them, they'll die.
Right. I'm like, you HOA are framing that like it's a problem if they come back. I want them to come back.
Yeah, what is the problem with having very cute cats in the neighborhood?
And sometimes they slip into the drain and like the little into the drain in the street, and then they peek out like Pennywise, and it's so sweet, and I love them.
Then they bite a child's hand off.
They're little babies. They would never.
That's what happens.
Iggy's being a freak. At some point, I'm going to have to move this couch and see what she's whining about.
There's something under.
I think it's a toy. Okay. I'm going to do the intro for both of us. Stop shaking your ass! Look under the couch and shut up about it. Okay, welcome back to the Pyramid, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. My name is Amanda, and I'm your host every single fucking week, except for the weeks I'm fucking not. And that's Eli.
And I'm Eli.
Dipshit participation trophy of co-hosts.
Oh, I got...
Fuck yourself.
Oh.
I can't stand you.
I got cut off. Is that why you're sitting?
I'm gonna freak out. This is how it is.
I like your... What is that?
Nothing.
The bandana?
You should like nothing about me.
Is it an ascot?
It is an ascot. I am, in fact, putting the ass in ascot today.
Well, was it? I was going to say it's a neck scot.
Ew. I don't know why that was so gross, but it sounded gross to me. Our secretary at work was also wearing a neck scarf today, and I went up to her desk after something, and I was like, oh, twins! And she looked like, she's probably in her 60s, and she was like, oh, we're twins! And I was like, Stacey Joe, we literally are. I was like, I love being a girl. Anyway, did you have something else you wanted to say? I've cut you off like 5 million times.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Check yes or no, Diva. What is it?
No,
okay.
I had something else, but then I thought about the kittens, and all bets were off.
Okay. I'm drinking, listeners at home who are familiar. Are you familiar with Olipop? You know about her?
Yeah. I like that you've used the can, though, to drink straight grain alcohol under the guise of it being a cherry cola,
Straight grain alcohol? What does that mean?
I'm pretending that you're drinking grain alcohol out of that and pretending like it's a soda.
I'm not. I am drinking a sody. It is full of prebiotics. You know about prebiotics?
I do.
They make you shit. And so I have to sip on this, because if I slam one of these, I'll have to poop
your pants on the couch.
Yeah, which I haven't pooped my pants before. But
neither have I.
I did one time when I was a child. Let me take that back.
Okay, no, that doesn't count.
When I was in the single-digit age, I shit my pants one time in a mall.
I have multiple ex-girlfriends that told me that they've shit their pants as adults sober.
No, sober? No shame, but also, what the fuck? That's crazy.
They didn't have any health conditions. They didn't have, like, some alcohol thing. They were not on any medication. They, as adults, shit their pants.
Listeners, write in if you shit your pants sober and tell me what the full context is, because that's crazy.
I agree.
That's insane. I did slam one of these one time, and I was like, why do I have such bad bubble gut? And then I was pooping a lot, and I was like, what the fuck? And somebody was like, you know, those are like you have to sip on them, or they will kind of fuck you up, and I didn't know that, so... The cherry cola flavor Olipop. It'll be a slow sip today. I won't be super fucking gassy.
Don't believe you at all.
Okay, well, that's your right, I guess. Okay, we have to talk about our pyramids because I have something really great to tell you. Okay, what's the bottom of your pyramid, son?
The bottom of my pyramid, ironically, is having to go to the bathroom as soon as you leave to go somewhere. I got in the car this morning to go to work. I turned out of my complex. I drove about 100 feet and was like, I gotta pee.
Did you stop off somewhere?
I turned back around and went back to my house.
Did you get out of your neighborhood, or is it just your street?
I was still
like,
on.
Fuck it, we ball,
I was still
and
on my actual street. I turned out of my complex. I was going down the street.
Damn.
I didn't get to
You're like, I have to pee.
our shared road.
Damn.
And I was like, I gotta turn around. Pulled a hot little Yui.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But that also happened, actually, this
really
afternoon.
funny.
I left work.
Oh my god. I think
Got
that's
in
a
the
product
car.
of your
I
age,
was like,
King.
I had to stop because I got up to like the main road. I stopped in a McDonald's. Not a great place to go to the bathroom ever.
True.
And yeah.
And you had to take a leak.
Yeah, it's the worst.
What's my... Oh!
What's your bottom? Tell me about your bottom, Amanda.
My bottom is a book that I read while... What?
Just looking at your bottom, it doesn't look very book-like.
You're a moron.
Something. I'd love to read that, but I don't know.
No. There needs to be something in there about how my ass is well read. Come on.
That's
funny. If my ass is a book, if my bottom's a book.
Love to turn that page.
Ugh, God. Okay, shut up. Let me talk about books.
Something about a bookmark? I don't know.
Okay, enough. My bottom of the pyramid is a book. It's called Let Him In by William Friend. It is a terrible book. It was allegedly supposed to be ooky spooky megalomooky. It was in fact none of those things. I'm a mystery thriller girly. I talk a big game about being like a person who reads a lot of romance. That's not true. I read some romance. That is true. I'm actively reading Twisted Games, which P.S. y'all are fucked up for that. If you know about that book, I got to Costa Rica last night. And that shit... I can't look you in the eye. That shit was crazy. The Costa Rica trip was crazy. If you know about that book, write in. Anyway, DM me personally so Eli doesn't see it. Anyway, stop smacking the dog. Let her gum in peace.
She's such a smackable butt.
It's true. Let her gum on her ball in peace. Anyway, when I'm not reading...
If you can hear that, by the way,
you
sorry.
Absolutely
it's
can.
Crazy.
Sorry, it's icky. Also, if you're bothered by that, look inward.
Yeah.
It's a dog.
Look igward.
Igward. Okay, you have to stop talking so I can get this sentence out. When I'm not reading romance, which is like 90% of the time. No, I don't read romance that often.
you're usually
not.
not.
I'm usually not. Yeah.
That's a crazy way of me agreeing with you. But...
Right. Well, right.
Well, usually not, yes, but no.
Right, when you're not. I'm like, oh, okay, sick. I read mystery thriller. That's my preferred genre. I want to read a book that keeps me up at night. I like the books that make me sleep with the lights on. I love that shit. I love being spooked. My favorite, I know it's a good book, especially if I'm reading it physically. If I'm reading it on my Kindle, you can't really do that with my little Kindle. But if I'm reading it physically... I know it's a good sign, or I know a good sign is when I have to cover the right page with my right hand. Because I'm like, don't look. And I'm like having to like track it down. Which 2 books ago, the book I was nervous about reading, I don't know if I talked about this, but the book I was nervous about reading is a book called This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. Bitch, 4.5 stars out of 5. I loved that book.
Out of 100.
It was so good. It was like... I'm sorry if I've said this before on the podcast. I can't keep track of who I've said things to and who I haven't, but I have like mystery thriller tropes that I love. And when I was reading This Book Will Bury Me, it was like seeing all my old friends. Where I was like, oh, hey, internet as a character, and like, hey, forced proximity, like, oh my God, I love all these little things, whatever. So that book is really good. 4.5 star book. And then while I was out of town last week on my little Kindle, I read Let Him In by William Friend. That book was so bad. And it was so bad because it didn't know what it was. It was like, the premise is there's like a man whose wife has died and he's raising their twin daughters, or his long-term partner. They were not married. That's like a plot point. Their 2 twin daughters start seeing like a ghost, like an apparition in their room of like a man, and they're like, you setting a place for him and feeding him, and the dad can't see him, and so he's like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get my twin girls to stop seeing this like ghost man in their room? It was so bad. The house is haunted. Spoiler alert for a bad book. The house is haunted, ? I don't fucking know. But also it's not haunted because it's about the occult and Satan is involved, and also so is God, ? I don't know. But also maybe they're making it up because of their grief process as twins. I don't know. And then the worst part about it was that the dead long-term partner, their mom's sister, gets involved and starts having a thing for her dead sister's man, and they bone, and she gets, you guessed it, pregnant at the end.
Hey, everyone
and
grieves
they
differently.
become a little bit of like a little family unit, and they banish the little ghost man to hell or whatever.
Oh, that's supposed to be a feel-good part of it?
Yes. It is so bad. Do not read that book. It is time off. It's 2 whole days off my life. I'll never get back from reading that fuck-ass book. William friend, you can catch these... William, not my friend. You know what I mean? You can catch these hands, bitch. I hated that book.
It's like a comedy horror. There are like horror elements, but it's also a very funny trilogy.
Right.
Is a series. The first book is called John Dies at the End.
Oh, yeah.
And then the second, that was like a little creepy. The second book, though, it's called This Book is Full of Spiders. I was like significantly scared through a couple parts of that, and also was laughing out loud at a couple parts of it.
I'm going to have to read those.
I have them. You can borrow them. I would highly recommend.
I love a scary book.
Oh shit, what was the third one called? I forget now, but it was my favorite. It's a very good trilogy.
Yeah.
So I will definitely John Dies at the End. If you know John Dies at the End, I think it was made into a movie or something. I didn't watch it, but the books are phenomenal.
Love.
Anyway,
What's the middle of your pyramid?
The middle of my pyramid is that the CEO of Feeding America visited our food bank today.
Slay,
I work at Second Harvest Food Bank. She's awesome. Sure. Her name's Claire Babineau-Fontenot.
A CEO.
Yes. And so she's a good speaker. The problem that I have with her is that this extends to like a larger group of people, but like it just sounds so rehearsed and prepared. And now I recognize fully that she's been the CEO of Feeding America for a while. She's been in this line of work for a while. She knows what she's talking about. Yeah. She's had these conversations. She's had these questions answered. Yeah. Like she's done all this a million times. So like, of course she knows, like she speaks very eloquently. But the problem is she's a very good storyteller. She like knows exactly when to like pause to keep you just on the edge of your seat. Sure. The problem is that facade doesn't work when I know that you're a CEO of like the biggest nonprofit in the fucking country, by the way. And like it just, the group that I have are like really famous people in the public eye, like activists in the public eye. Yeah. That includes like politicians, for example. She feels like a politician. She works with a lot of politicians. Yeah. And so all the people basically that she interacts with ever are these really high level folks that are not good necessarily at connecting with someone like me. Sure. I run the volunteer department at a food bank of 140 people or whatever in the middle of Tennessee. Right. You know what I mean? Like she and I would struggle to actually have a conversation about like the real nitty gritty. I would be like, yeah, so here's our volunteer room. Here's how we train people up. And this is the thing. Here are the box we keep. And she's just like, I just love being a part of the fight against hunger. I'm like, but here's what it actually looks like. And she's like, yes, but if we all come together, like, okay, like, can you say real words? Can you actually say something? Yeah. And so again, she is a very, first of all, women in power, great. Slay. Women of color in power, great. Slay. I love that she clearly like is passionate about the thing, but like the way that she speaks doesn't connect with me because I've just seen it too many times. Right. It feels practiced and rehearsed, and so it doesn't really land with me. Yeah. So
that's fair.
Middle of the pyramid. Cool that she visited the food bank, I guess. Yeah. But like she answered questions, but she got all the questions ahead of time. Oh, well. So, like, it feels less authentic just because I know that, too. Right, yeah. Whatever. Middle of the pyramid. I get that.
Feelings. Working in events, most of the events I produce or help to produce are corporate events, and most of them have a keynote speaker, and it's just always that way. Where it's like, I know how much you got paid. I know what your writer requirements were. I know how much of a pain in the dick it was to get you here. And then you're like, community. And I'm like, fuck off. That's annoying.
Yeah. I'm just very disillusioned. I just inherently... mistrust people in power. Yeah. And she has a lot of it. Yeah. And so like even though she has the good kind of power, I think it's still like, that's why it's the middle. That's why she's not the bottom. Yeah. But that's why it's the middle. I just feel a little weird about it.
That's fair.
Cool.
My middle of the pyramid is a story I was trying to tell you yesterday, and then I was like, wait, I can't. I have to tell you on the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of... Never mind. We'll talk... The books that you read causing you to have a similar reaction. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it on the podcast.
You can say it if you want. I feel like now you have to say it.
Okay. Well, we were talking... I'm so sorry. We were talking yesterday
Stand
about...
on business.
I'm sitting on business. But how you... Like, your two genres are, like, fantasy romance.
Yes.
And horror.
Yes.
Like, you want to, like...
I said I want to feel everything at the highest degree. I want to be scared out of my mind.
Or
I want to read, like, porn. Yeah, yes. Exactly.
And I was like, either way... I can't look you in the eye and say it. I was like, either way, a lot of fluids are coming out of you.
Yeah. And I was like, well, is he wrong? Listener, no. He's not wrong. I've
never been embarrassed of something I've said on the podcast.
You should have been, girl. How is this? We've done 200 episodes, and now it's the first time you've ever been embarrassed on the pod? Girl, that's crazy.
It was a really good joke.
It was a really good joke. Yeah, it was pretty funny because we were talking about.
Either way, you got to change your sheets. Like,
I know. I was like, honestly, yeah. It was shockingly accurate.
Oh God.
Okay, shut up. My middle of the pyramid is a moment that I had with a man in my office, and I called him on his bullshit, and it was awesome. So what happened was we have a girl in our office, a woman in our office. She's 22. She's little. And she's moving out of her, like, college age, like, house where a bunch of her roommates live. She's going to start living by herself. And she's having to move pretty quickly. She didn't really, like, choose this. This is just kind of, like, circumstance of life. She just has to do it. And so one of our coworkers suggested to her, like, make an Amazon wish list, and people in the office will buy stuff for you, because she's never lived by herself before.
Okay.
So you
it's like
need,
a pre-housewarming thing.
Right. You need plates. You need, bullshit like that. So she makes this list, and then that coworker...
Did she check it twice?
No. That coworker then sent it out to everybody in our office, except that person who made the list, obviously. She was like, hey, y'all, this person's moving. If you want to buy things for her, here's the list, whatever.
Cool.
One of the things that this woman had included were these security bars that you can get to put behind your door that are at an angle, and they're like they jam up your door handle so that you can't turn it, like, at all.
Okay.
You put them up when you go to sleep. Every woman knows what I'm talking about. And she's never lived by herself. She put them on this list. This fuck-ass man in my office replies all to the email and says, security bars for her door, rough neighborhood, LOL. And when I tell you...
The privilege...
my female ancestral bloodline smiled on me. And I had time that day, and I can't stand that man. And Tom Hanks at the keyboard, and I responded and said, living by yourself as a woman is scary no matter the neighborhood. Smiley face. People in the office, I was out of town when this was happening, people in the office blowing up my phone, being like, thank you so much for saying something. Like, I was going to say something, but I didn't know how, blah, 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 whatever. I was like, don't worry. You're not going to say dumb shit around me. And be a man and say dumb shit around me? 3 comorbidities? Crazy. That's
check,
nuts.
check, and check.
And check. Yeah, no. And it sucks that he said some dumb shit. His response, though, he responds to my email and says, you're right, I bought them. For her.
Hell yeah.
So I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? He lives to slay another day, but by the skin of his straight white male teeth.
Yeah, that's like, there's just a lot of, it's just something he's never had to think about. Like, and so there's just like a lot of privilege. It's not like he's trying to be harmful or anything like that.
36.
God, what a geezer, am I right?
No. And she's 22.
I don't know about
you. And for him to be like, rough neighborhood? No, try rough existence by being not a man.
Right. He doesn't know. He's just ignorant.
But what pisses me off is that, let me back up. I'll give him credit because he was like, that's fair. And he didn't know that this 22-year-old coworker wasn't on that email thread. And he texted her on the side and apologized and said, I said something stupid. I'm really sorry. Blah, blah, blah.
That's great.
So, again, he lives to slay another day. He's fine.
Okay. Thin ice, though.
You better watch that fucking mouth, dude. He claims to be king of the libs, and he fully is like the court jester of the libs. He is yet to be the king.
I thought I was the court jester of the libs.
He joins your legion sometimes. Actually, that's not true. He is. Wait, did I tell you about being the court jester of the libs? I already used that joke on you.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, if I did, that's annoying.
Of a hummingbird.
True, but he's a lot worse than most dudes I know. Most like liberal fronting men, because like there was a day that he said that the men in the office were being a bunch of girls. One day, and I was like, all right, crazy. You know, he's just not a great dude. So, but again, he took it back. He walked it back. He bought the bars for her. Slay, whatever.
All right.
Whatever. But keep an eye on that man. What's the top of your pyramid, bruh?
Top of my pyramid, speaking of libs, is David Hogg.
Oh, yeah. I do know who David Hogg is.
For those that don't, he is an up-and-coming member of just, like,
he's
the left. He is a survivor of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school shooting.
Yeah.
He is... Here's his fucking resume. So, first of all, he became an advocate against gun violence immediately after the shooting, obviously.
Right.
He is now a Harvard graduate. He is a New York Times best-selling author. He's one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people in 2018, and he is now a vice chair of the DNC.
Oh, I didn't know the DNC part.
Uh-huh. He just won this seat like a couple months ago.
Good for him.
Well, so his goal is to overhaul the Democratic Party from within.
Lord knows we fucking
He's like,
need it.
we need young people. He's like, I'm not going after Republicans. Mm-hmm. They're lost and hopeless. Mm-hmm. He's like, I am, however, going to go after Democrats and get out those that are just trying to maintain the status quo and are sitting on their fucking hands because I don't think you're doing enough.
Right.
And he's like, we need more youth and energy in this party. I'm helping to raise money to primary all these old-ass incumbent Democrats who are just bending to the will of Republicans.
Right.
He's already such a fucking problem that DNC leaders are freaking out because he's against their beloved status quo and they're actually trying to remove him as a vice chair. They're like, oh, the election, something was wrong with the election of the vice chair. It's yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
And so he is, that is how you know you're doing the right thing, when the most powerful people are afraid of you.
Yeah, real.
When you can threaten the most powerful people who are maintaining the status quo, shilling for billionaires and sitting on their hands while America crumbles from within, you're doing the right thing, David Hogg. Keep it up, brother. That's fucking awesome. Good for him. Top of the pyramid. Oh, what was that? Do you remember that time? Hold on a minute.
I didn't.
Just like a while ago.
No, I didn't.
It was a long time ago. But this one time you said, I'm going to drink this. I'm going to sip this
but I
slowly.
didn't. I thought I was going to.
And I won't be gassy.
I said I wouldn't be as gassy. Check the tape. And I didn't burp. I thought I was going to, and then I didn't. So I don't know what
you were just massaging your neck.
No, I was
scarf.
thinking I was going to burp, and then I didn't. That's really what it was.
You were about to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's what
I
it
would
was.
never.
You were feeling very patriotic as I'm talking about David
Hogg. I would
Hogg.
never feel patriotic. The top of my pyramid, I'm so sorry, does once again relate to capitalism. But I bought a backpack for work because, as we know, I work in what? Say it with me. Events. And I need a backpack.
I was going to make a joke and say porn.
No.
Not to shame any sex workers out there.
Well, no. And it's not funny if you that's your thing. Anyway, I bought a backpack. And I work in corporate events, and I have to be on site, and I be traveling sometimes. I really do be traveling. And the fuck-ass backpacks that they give us at work are bullshit. They don't hold anything. I ripped the bottom of it anyway, and so I was like, fuck it, we ball. And I got a new backpack. I got I hate that I'm going to say this word, but I got the Blast backpack from thank you. From the company Bag Smart in the color green, obviously. And it's so awesome. It has a shit zillion pockets. One of them is like up against your back, and the zipper's like right here, so it's like for your passport or whatever, like sensitive documents.
That's so good.
It has a side handle.
That's usually why I use a fanny pack.
It is the fucking shit. I like, I get a lot of shit at work for lots of reasons, and most of them deserved. But one of them that's not deserved is that I don't like to check bags. That stresses me out. I want to keep all my shit with me. I don't want to check a bag.
If Patrick and Leah are listening, they're jumping for joy right now. They talk shit if I check a bag anywhere.
I hate checking a bag. I would rather die than check a bag. If I have to check a bag, I'm not going. That's not true. But I would rather not. You know what I mean? One time for work, we were flying American, and my carry-on, a hardshell carry-on, I had to extend it in the middle because it was the middle of winter and we were going to North Carolina. And I couldn't collapse it all the way, so I'd use the little expandy part in the middle. And they took it from me because it wouldn't fit in the overhead compartment. And all of my coworkers were like watching me, and the flight attendants were like, "It's okay, I'll just check it." And she took it away from me, and I was like, "Okay, sounds good." And all my coworkers were like, "Oh, I'm in," and I was like, "I don't want to talk about it. It stresses me out." Anyway, all that to say, I use my backpack not only like on site, like to put all my work shit in, but also as a part of my packing process. And the shit I can fit in packing cubes in a backpack and a hardshell carry-on, you wouldn't believe. It's crazy. And I just upgraded my backpack. And all week last week, I was like, God damn, I love this backpack.
Hell yeah.
The Blast backpack from BagSmart, it was not that expensive. The going rate for an expensive backpack is like $200 these days. The BagSmart Blast Travel backpack is $70.
Not a sponsor, but could be.
Not a sponsor, but honestly should be. I bought a bunch of shit from y'all a couple weeks ago. All that's awesome. Their cosmetics bag is awesome. Their packing cubes are awesome. Big slave from BagSmart. I'm not burping.
No, yeah, why would you?
I've never burped a day in my life. Okay, I didn't burp. I'm going to shit my pants for trying to not burp. That's what's going to happen. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Okay, hang on, I have to restart the camera.
I was about to say. I looked over at the time. 26 minutes, dog.
Annoying. Let me set the
You just don't want me to stand up because you're worried that I'll twerk again.
Correct. That is actually
Listen, Amanda. Okay. I give the people what they want.
No one's asking for that, dear. I'm so sorry, but not one damn person is asking for you to shake your butt.
Challenge accepted.
No.
Everyone, if you're listening or watching, write in. And if you're like, I accept Eli's twerking, and I want to see Eli's twerking, send us an email. Send us a DM.
And you can't be Patrick. With peace and love.
You can be Patrick.
With peace and love, those DMs and emails will be met with recommendations to BetterHelp.com. Therapists in your area, for sure. Okay, we got a bunch of emails, and we got a couple of Instagram DMs. What?
Nothing.
And a lot of them talked about the same... talked about the same thing. I just apologize to the microphone. Two, like... Just shut up. We're talking
I thought you were apologizing
things.
to the listeners
no, I went
if
like
it made
this,
a noise.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Okay, so a couple of things. The first is that Nia's, the tribal council number from last week, I did not realize this until somebody called me out. Shouts out for calling me out. But Nia is part indigenous to the states. Her middle name is Sioux, Sioux. Yeah. And initially, it was going to be the Sioux Tribal Council. Like, Abby was like, come here a little bit. Like, come here thing I can use to exploit, for my benefit, whatever. Yeah. So there is something to that. It's not like there have been times where she's like...
That explains why Holly was thrilled. Sorry to cut you off.
Yes, no, it does.
That explains
more.
It's
different from the times that Abby's given Nia like a dance of like an
quote
Indian
unquote
dance.
Ethnic.
Yeah, or like a dance from India. Or it's like she's not from India. Yeah. There's like some sort of attachment there a little bit. And it doesn't give context to why Holly is like, okay, period.
Holly's just like, hell sense. Yeah, dude. Cool.
Something else, we got a shit ton of emails about this because Christy just opened up about this on her podcast, on her Back to the Bar. And
when's she going to invite us on that, by the way?
Girl, if that ever happened, I literally would, I think, explode. If I ever got to talk to Christy Lukasiak, I would literally die.
So, Cynthia, because you've met Christy.
Because you spoke to her one time, and now obviously you're BFFs.
Yeah, now you're her bestie.
Put us on that pod.
Yeah.
Two random fuckos from Nashville.
Oh, I would just die.
Digging around.
I would die.
Yeah. She's also so your demographic. It's crazy. She is. She absolutely is. Okay, anyway. She talked about...
Is she married?
No, she was cheating on her husband. She's an infidel.
Okay, well.
So, okay. Anyway, Chrissy just recently opened up about this on her podcast. This time, like in not today, but like the time that this episode, all these episodes were filming. A reason why Christy is extra bitter,
salty,
is because she found out like at like a few weeks before this time that she was pregnant.
Oh.
She then lost the baby.
Oh.
And she very recently on Back to the Bar has said she believes it's because of stress that was brought on by being on Dance Moms. So, I did not know that until just now. And if I had known that, I would not have gone so hard the last couple of weeks on her being better. And I know my compadre feels similarly. So, good to know moving forward.
Shit.
In peace and love, we're moving forward. Thank you for shedding light on
God damn it.
That.
Sorry, Christy.
Sorry, girl. That's insane. Just in general. You know?
Fuck, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of emails about that. Being like, hey, girl, maybe shut up a little bit. Maybe
I'm sure they were nice. I'm sure the emails were nice.
They were very nice. It was a call in.
You understand that we know nothing other than what is being presented to us, especially me.
Especially Eli. He doesn't know anything.
I know very little, including what is being presented to me.
Well, right. Well, absolutely right.
Look, I'm making an Iggy burrito.
Oh.
Hell yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready to get into the content of this episode?
You bet your $100 I am.
Okay, great. We're not gonna speed run this. We're gonna take time, but it is for the listeners at home who maybe don't appreciate me, which is 0 of you. It is a peek behind the curtain. It is 8:15 last night. So when we get done here, Mr. Man has to leave so that I can edit this in 3 hours and put it up on the internet for free. So we are gonna have to maybe move with a clip.
You
know
said
what
for
I mean?
free. I think now's a good time to tell all of our listeners and viewers we're going to charge you $100 an episode to view
to keep me
or
alive.
Listen. So yeah. Imagine.
Everyone shut up. Wait, I forgot something. Because, okay, wait. Guess what?
What?
Nia is writing a book. A book about being on Dance Moms. It's called Bottom of the Pyramid.
Oh, shit.
And what I was going to
title.
say is we need to open up a Patreon to have a book club and when we read Nia's book together. That would be fucking awesome. We're not going to do that because I don't think we have enough people who'd be interested in paying. But when that book comes out, trust and believe, I will be reading it. We will be talking about it.
Yeah.
Eli will have to listen to it because he's a boy and boys don't know how to read. It's going to be awesome. Nia Sue, Bottom of the Pyramid.
Which of us has listened to more audiobooks?
Me.
I have listened to how many?
0. You just stare at books.
That's right. I like.
I
like the pictures.
Did you ever see Beauty and the Beast?
Yes. What?
You're like Gaston, where he goes,
what a guy is Gaston.
He picks up a book and he goes, how can you read this? There aren't any pictures. That's you. Okay.
We don't need women reading books that gets them all.
Yeah, they get ideas and they're thinking. Yeah, that's you. It's called Bottom of the Pyramid, a memoir of persevering, dancing for myself, and starring in my own life. Period.
God damn right.
Period. So once that's not coming out until, what, like the winter time? Yeah. Tuesday. Yeah. Right. Tuesday. That wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It is Tuesday.
Winter Tuesday, obviously. Yeah. No, Tuesday, November 4th.
Pick a random Tuesday in winter. That's it.
Tuesday.
Also, the November is in the fall.
Okay, fine, whatever. It comes out in the fall. Tuesday, November 4th in the fall, not the winter, is when this book is coming out. And I'm going to read it, and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be awesome. Okay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Here we go. This week we're talking about Season 4, Episode 27, The Understudies.
Finally, not a shit title.
Yeah, not a joke, not a play on
horrible
anything,
pun.
Just like The Understudies.
This is what it is. Period. Great.
It's something that intrinsically makes me like want to call the cops, like Kiss or Get Off the Pot, which is insane. Yeah. An episode that is referenced in this episode, by the way.
Yes.
I'm not perfect.
Yes.
I'm keeping it together. I'm getting shy now.
Let it out.
No. Previously on. We have Nia and the aforementioned tribal number from last week. We get a very, very long time ago flashback to Gino and Maddie having to, like, kiss and, like, it was a weird thing.
That was only a handful of episodes. It's a long time, and you are just let it out.
I burped a little bit.
Yeah. I know.
I'm getting that acid reflux, girl.
You're getting that Ollie Pop reflux.
I know. Yeah. Ugh, a lot going on gastrointestinally. And then Maddie was entered in as a competitor last week, super last minute, to make sure that Abby won or whatever.
And it ruined Mackenzie.
And it ruined all of us.
Yeah.
Emotionally. Yeah. Okay. This week, we're in the mirror room screaming immediately.
Classic.
And Abby says, congrats are in order. And she's like, the group won last week. She's standing with her arms out, like, congrats are in order.
Like,
and it sounds like
Jesus Christ.
Yes, it sounds like the last part of that sentence is, congrats to me are in order. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being annoying.
She's like, shower me with praise.
Congrats are in order, ladies. You did the work, and I was annoying about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was also there.
Yeah, exactly. The Nationals are 2 weeks away. We get that again. Abby's in her talking head being like, I don't know, I'm going to take the Nationals. 2 weeks, blah, 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 whatever. We get to the Pyramid of Children. The bottom of the pyramid, the worst child, is Kendall. And Abby asks her, like, what happened in the group number? Like, do you know why I pulled you over type shit? And Kendall's like, well, it's because I was late in this one moment, but I picked it up and acted like nothing happened.
Also, they show the moment in the dance.
Girl, I could not tell you what the mistake was.
I watched it twice. I don't know where she was late.
No idea.
She was up. I think it was Chloe that was next to her.
Can't be really what happened.
No, there was nothing.
It was fine, yeah. Chloe is next, and Abby's like, it was fine. You're fine. Okay, awesome. And then Mackenzie.
Chloe's just happy she didn't get verbally punched in the face.
Yeah, or like shot, Mackenzie's next, and Abby says that she was the expected winner, but she didn't beat Tia and Sarah, who aren't here, ? They're not here this week.
Yeah, I have so many questions about just so many very obvious things. I want to
talk to one person from the production team.
Me too.
Like, girl to girl, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, what... and I bet you get someone on there, I'll just like, I don't fucking know. Yeah.
And then in the middle of the pyramid, the next one is Nia, and I have in all caps, boo, with like a million O's. She should be on the top, absolutely. Stand by it. And then on the top, even though she's next to Nia, because the structural integrity of this pyramid means nothing.
Yeah, it's shaped like
is Maddie.
Like a 5 on a dice.
Well, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There's no last person.
It's a trapezoid.
Yeah, it is. And
dude,
Maddie won Maddie's on the top because she won her solo one. What?
Yeah, I thought that Abby was gonna pull some shit and slap another face up there.
Oh, that is very Abby Lee Miller.
That is 100% something.
That makes a lot of sense. And then Holly in her talking head smells a stunt, obviously, and she's like, what the fuck? This should be Nia on the top.
And she's like, can Nia not have anything?
No.
She's like, she led the group number, which is a thing she rarely gets to do.
True.
They won with it. She was great. And so, just kidding. Maddie's on the top just because she has to be.
Awesome.
I mean, yes, she won her solo, but she fucking always wins her solo.
Right.
The standards need to be different for Maddie, I think.
Yeah, she's playing by different rules.
Like, we need to... She needs to, like, move into, like... Like, I had... when I was teaching, I had kids like that. There was some where I was like, your standard is here.
Yeah.
If you get to here, I'll be thrilled. But you, for example, have been on the snare line for 4 years now. Your standard is up here.
Yeah, I expect better from you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're older. I expect you've gotten... You're just, like, naturally whatever. You've tried harder, whatever. Your standard is here. We all need to keep growing.
Right. This week we're going to Sheer Talent in Wayne, New Jersey, and Kathy's going to be there.
You know what's so funny is they keep, I'm not from the Northeast, obviously, but every time they say one of these towns, it's a town I've never fucking heard of.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
Like most of the time.
Well, but to be fair, all the states in the South are all the same. You know what I mean? Like, to other people who aren't from the South. It's
right.
Like all the South. It's like one state, and it's like 7 states.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy's going to be there. Gino's going to be there. He's going to be doing a solo. What?
I was going to say, the South, it's also like our family tree is just a straight line, basically.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody at my job who is like really into family lineage.
Ew.
Yeah. And I'm like, hey, what? As a white man, what?
I don't like that at all.
He's like super into it, and that's odd. And he, the other day, was like, Amanda, do you know where your family's from? And I was like, no. I was like, I don't give a fuck where my family's from. I
Europe.
said, my family has been in the South the whole time. And he went, oh. And I said, yeah, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? And he was like, oh, yeah, okay. Because his family's from the Northeast. I'm like, your family is, like, cool and from New England. My family is from the South, babe. Like, not a flex. Okay, anyway. Kathy's going to be there. Juno's going to be there. Juno's going to be doing a solo. Maddie, coincidentally, is also going to be doing a solo that's called Fool Me Once. And we get a flashback to the sick nasty of the week where Abby made them kiff a little. So fucking nasty. And allegedly, Maddie has to fly this week to Miami for a rehearsal for what Abby describes as a web series. I don't know what the hell that means. And so Abby's like, I don't know, gang. Maddie might have to leave to go to, glitzy glamorous Miami to be internet famous.
It's not how I would describe it.
So we need to figure out who's going to replace her. And so she pits Chloe and Kendall against one another as understudies in case Maddie has to fly to Miami to be on the internet.
I think in the past, Chloe would have just like kind of automatically gotten that role. But Kendall has had like the past like couple months worth of episodes or whatever has been like pretty good. Like she's won a couple things. Run for her money, yeah. And so like Abby even said a few episodes ago, like Kendall's like in the circle of trust now. Yeah. And so I think Abby kind of views Chloe and Kendall as like being really similar. Yeah. So who
knows? And then Chloe asked Abby, how are you going to choose who gets to compete?
Chloe, you know the answer to that.
And Abby says, whoever does it right.
Yeah, whoever's better.
Yeah, duh. The group routine this week is called Playing with Matches.
Abby at one point says, "We need a pyromaniac." Does anyone know what that is? All the kids like, no.
Abby, you can't even spell pyromaniac.
Also, that's just a crazy thing to ask for.
Yeah, no, obviously no. And Maddie's supposed to be the group lead. Abby says, and then she says if she's not like around, if she's in Miami, then the group's just going to dance without a lead.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
It's so strange that like there is a legitimate chance that Maddie is not going to be available, and yet one of the moms brings this up that like, okay, I think it's Christy. Why are you giving her the solo and also making her the focus of the group?
Yes, Christy brings that up later. She's like, "What the fuck is the point? If there's even a chance."
Why are we
doing this? Yeah.
You're setting yourself up for potential chaos. Right.
And Abby and her talking, it says the only girl who's really locked in for nationals is Maddie. But she's like, I don't know anybody else.
We fucking know.
The moms go upstairs. We start with the group rehearsal. Abby talks about being a pyromaniac. And then she kind of talks about the metaphor of like playing with fire, and it's lame as fuck.
If you play with matches, you'll get burned. Okay, so whatever. Don't cross me. She's like, I don't mean literally get hurt by fire. I mean, if you mess with me, you'll get burned.
If you mess with the bull, you'll get the fire. And you're like, what? Too many metaphors. Shut up.
If you mess with matches, you'll get horny.
The horns.
Hello.
Egg.
Wait, what is this panic that is happening? Iggy.
This is the panic of her mom not being here and it being dark outside.
Why are you a chunky sausage?
The mom's upstairs in the Lido deck. Chrissy asks Melissa, like, what's going on with Maddie and the web series and whatever. And Melissa gives her, like, obviously a nonsense answer about, like, oh, I don't really know. Like, we'll just have to see how it plays out. And Chrissy says that there's another chance. This is just another chance for Abby to compare children. She's like, what's going on here is, like, the reason why you're not giving me an answer is because this is just a front for Abby to shit on children once again.
Yeah, and Christy in her talking head says, like, hey, Melissa, sometimes being a good mom shouldn't trump kissing Abby's ass. Like, you should say something about this.
That's
this is
very
bullshit.
True. Jill is the one who brings up, why are we even doing this? Why are we entertaining the idea of Maddie being the lead if there's a chance that she won't be there? Abby starts screaming at Kendall.
Yeah, like crazy.
Like, by a lot. And then tells all the girls, why can't you all just rise to the occasion and be like Maddie?
Yeah. And then Nia in her talking head's like, Abby is mean and rude sometimes. It just really depends. What the hell's going on?
He just dropped the ball and it rolled underneath the TV stand.
Oh, no, she's panicking. Okay, I'll get it in a second. She's about to start whining. But Nia's like, Abby's mean and rude sometimes. It just kind of depends on what her mood is or what day it is or whatever.
That's what you say about me, huh? Yes. You're hesitating, which means yes. Plead the fifth.
Oh, look, he needs a ball.
Yeah. While you're up, can you turn the fan on? Jill and Holly, stop! I'm gonna literally...
Wait, where is it?
Oh my God.
I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going without you. Jill and Holly. Oh no! What a disaster of an episode.
So much chaos.
Thank you. Ridiculous. Okay, Jill and Holly are. You didn't even turn on the fan.
What did you say?
I said turn on the fan.
I was focused on twerking and getting these balls.
Sounds about right.
The fan? Which one is it?
Well, there's only 3 options.
There are 4.
Okay, one of them's already on. So, nope. There you go. Good job. Let's fucking go. Okay.
Of course, the last one.
Jill and Holly.
Golly.
What's nuts is like, if I told I'm going to be really honest. Moment of honesty and vulnerability.
Why wouldn't you be?
If I were to tell someone, like, here's video footage of me and my best friend, and showed them an episode of this, they would not believe it. Like, this is me and my best fucking friend, and I'm like, I'm literally gonna put a bomb in your car and kill you. And they're like, your best friend? I'm like, yes, this is how we talk to each other. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what to tell you.
He stands up and is a little goofy for a second, and I want to stab him.
He walks into my house that I invited him to make content with me that I asked him to make, and I'm upset about that.
Not just upset, I'm furious.
One of my favorite days in recent history was when I was playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and you came in, and I was like joking sort of about like you mansplaining it to me. And like of the objectives that I was trying to like complete or whatever, and I was like, "Why are you mansplaining Hello Kitty Island Adventure to me?" And you were like, "I'm not mansplaining. I'm taking an interest."
Yeah, it's like I just want to be.
We're just talking about something that we're both mutually interested in, Amanda. Okay, anyway, Jill and Holly are talking about how terrible it is that Abby only mentions bad things about the kids who are not Maddie, and only the good things that Maddie does. So they're saying, like, we never hear any criticism about Maddie, and we never hear any compliments about anybody who's not Maddie. What?
So basically, all of Abby's comments are either Maddie or they're baddie. Because they're bad.
No, I got it.
Because it
just
rhymes.
wasn't funny. All right. Holly says it would be interesting. What?
No, go say this, and then I'll say what I'm going to say.
I was going to say, Holly says it might be interesting to do qualitative analysis. I see that doctorate. On how Abby talks to all the other kids.
And what I was about to say is, I cannot believe they haven't done this sooner.
Yeah.
This is, yes, do this.
Yeah, count them out. You know what I mean?
Shut Melissa up. It's not for Abby, it's for Melissa. Just
True.
Melissa, shut up.
Melissa?
It is so... How has she not seen and realized over like the couple of years this has been happening that it's happening? But now, okay, great. We're literally going to count how many times Abby not just makes comments about our kids, but actively puts them down and disrespects them and talks shit or whatever, compared to how many times that Maddie gets praised. Right.
Now this, dear listener, is where Dr. Holly goes wrong, in my opinion. Because Holly is going to try to have a logic, science, evidence-based conversation with an irrational narcissist.
Who, Abby or Melissa?
Abby. Well, both of them. But
well, I don't think this was to be shown.
Well, they will at the end.
They will eventually, but I think they started doing it to prove Melissa wrong. I don't think this was initially.
Oh, I was thinking it was
to be presented to Abby. I think they were just like, "Hey, I'm kind of curious to do this."
And a producer was like, "You should show that to Abby."
Well, we'll get to the producer part of it.
Jill says it would be a great idea to make a chart, and Chrissy's, whipping out her iPhone 4, and they make a little notes app keeping tallies.
Yep.
We cut to the Candy Apples Dance Center company, and Gino is back in the stew. Very exciting. And he's doing a warrior solo, and Kathy and her talking and says it can't be. He can't smile. He can't be cheesy. He can't be hokey like the ALDC numbers. He has to be really serious. Like, she slips in that read. Like, really, I was like, period, Kathy.
Not bad.
And Gino says that if he wins, he'll just he's like, I'll walk by Miss Abby and I'll go.
Like a sassy.
Like an eyebrow wiggle.
That'll really show her, Gino.
Yeah. And Kathy says that she doesn't like Abby, and Gino's like, I don't like Abby. And they're like, hell yeah. And they like basically high five about how they don't like Abby.
And they freeze in midair while the credits roll.
Yeah. Powerline playing in the background. Eye to Eye playing in the background. For the first time, Gino and Kathy are singing Eye to Eye. First time. It's a great song.
Yes.
Okay, we cut back to the ALDC. And we see the score. What?
Go ahead. I'm anticipating
almost cutting me off and then not doing it.
Well, I'm just preparing you. Like, okay. I'm going to talk whenever there's a break.
Okay. Kendall has 6 points against her. Nia has 4. Chloe has 4. But then Maddie, on a different grading scale, has 7 good things. And Mackenzie, also on the other scale, has 1 good thing.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
Right when they're doing that, Abby starts yelling again and tells Nia, you're not worth my energy.
Crazy.
One of the most
not equally weighted. Like, that is so much worse than, like, a compliment is good. You know what I mean?
Well, yes.
Like, how bad that is not as good as a compliment.
You're literally fucking hopeless.
You're not worth my energy.
Yes. Like, you are so taxing to me, I'm not even going to bother. That's
crazy.
As an educator, imagine.
Oh, my God.
As a human being, saying that to an adult, saying that to a child is just insane.
Especially an educator.
Fucking insane.
Position. Yeah.
And especially after she just led a winning group number a mere week ago, Abby.
Yeah.
Not worth the energy. You put a tiny bit of energy into her last week, and she fucking won.
Yeah.
She won.
Annoying head ass. Holly says that once the data is in black and white, it's going to be really apparent what's going on. And Christy is kind of just like, yeah, this is bullshit and whatever.
Christy says you can see defeat on the girls' faces. And Holly asks, when is enough enough?
Great question. We cut to commercial when we come back. Chloe asks Maddie if she's like nervous. They're like kind of stretching in the mirror room. And Gino asks Maddie if she's nervous to see Gino. Kendall's also there. And Maddie says that the kissing, like, solo or duet thing was the worst week of her life. And she says it was really gross. And then Maddie asks if they're excited to be the understudies. And Chloe's like, yeah, I think this is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Whatever.
Maddie then makes some... It was, I think, edited to seem shitty where she's like, well, it is, like, my solo. Because they're talking about, like, the choreography. Like, yeah, it makes sense for Maddie. And then Maddie's like, yeah, it is my solo.
Yeah.
Which is true. It's supposed to make her look like a villain, but it's clearly not.
Well, she's a child. Yeah.
All right.
The moms are upstairs on the Lido deck, and they have what?
I'm excited for this part. Just talk. Just talk.
Okay, sorry. The moms are upstairs in the Lido deck, and they have a whiteboard.
Hilarious.
It's awesome, and it has all the girls' names on it, and it's huge, by the way. It's like... You know, I know. We've been shopping for school supplies before. Whiteboards be expensive. That whiteboard looked like $200 worth of a whiteboard up there.
Well, those are upper middle class white moms in the Northeast. They've got that money.
That's true. Lifetime can afford that, and you know, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Names of the girls. Boom, 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 boom. And it's like the name is on the left side in a column, and then the tally out next to their names, and they're keeping tally on how many times Abby compares the other kids to Maddie or says something mean, which means that Maddie's name is not on that list.
Right. Well, even if it was only keeping a tally of just like Abby disrespecting or saying mean shit to the kids, Maddie's name wouldn't need to be on it anyway. That's the point.
Exactly. And Melissa asks, like, why isn't Maddie on the board? Like,
she doesn't get negative comments.
Abby made a negative comment to her one time, and Christy went, no.
No, she didn't.
Just like...
Yeah, Melissa was like, I think she did. No, she didn't.
No.
We all know that she didn't,
girl.
Melissa.
And then Melissa, what?
In her talking head.
Oh, go for it, King.
Makes the shitty fucking... She's like, once again, the moms are singling Maddie out. Like, oh, all right, Melissa, that's what's happening.
She's like,
that's for sure what's happening, you moron.
How can I take this exercise that's about every child except mine and make it about me?
Yeah, how can I become a victim in a situation
that has nothing to do with me?
That couldn't have less to do with me.
How do I center myself in everyone's pain constantly?
Yeah, these other moms are just jealous. Why do they have to make it about Maddie? They're not making it about Maddie. They're making it about their kids.
Right, exactly. They're standing up for their children, something that Melissa wouldn't know anything about.
In fact, she actively hurts her own children.
Right. Sorry, I had a burp.
I know.
Sorry. I also have to restart the camera. Piggly Wiggly.
Who, me or the dog?
The dog.
She's just over here oinking in her sleep.
I love her so much. If you're not a watcher of this podcast, you are missing out. Oh, shit. We're flipping
the belly
over.
Rub, hell yeah.
We're flipping over like a gas station hot dog.
Like a...
Or like a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, that's better.
Sweet baby. Okay, anyway. Melissa in her talking head is like, this is inappropriate for the children to see this whiteboard and blah, blah, blah.
I'm on board with that.
I am also kind of on board.
This is where I think the producers got a hold of it.
Yeah. I think the whiteboard is too far.
The moms very easily could have just like kept this in the Lido deck, facing it. Like, they don't have to, either on the phone or even having the whiteboard, like, they just keep it kind of at their feet.
Oh, true.
So no one can see up into it. But not only do they have it propped up on like an easel thing.
It's huge.
It's tremendous. And it's facing the dance studio.
Yeah.
So, like, the kids could just glance up at it and see it very clearly.
It's also, like, very distracting, even just in general, like, without it being... I mean, it is hurtful, but it's also very distracting.
Well, not even knowing what it is, like, the moms just keep getting up and doing something on this whiteboard. That's insanely distracting.
And if my mom was doing that, I want to pay attention to what my mom's doing.
I'm watching for sure.
Yeah. My question is, like, what do they think they're going to get out of this? Because... Abby has never, in recent history, she's not in the business of denying that she likes Maddie the most.
Right.
So what are we doing? Why are they doing this?
Nor does she ever apologize for being mean to children.
Right. So they're doing it to do what?
I don't know. This had to have been like producer led.
I don't get it.
If they were just doing it for themselves, they would have kept it to themselves.
Right.
But I think they were told, like, you gotta, like, hey, turn this towards Abby. Let's see what happens there.
It's weird. And Holly's like,
so dumb.
When it's in black and white, she won't be able to deny it. Babe, she's not denying it now.
Yeah.
Without the data, she's not denying that she likes Maddie the most.
Yeah, the fact that even Dr. Holly is like, this will really show her. No, it won't.
What? She already admits to all of this actively, so I don't understand. And then... let's see. Jill tells Melissa that if Abby starts to critique Maddie, then she'll shut up, Melissa. We'll put Maddie's name on the board.
Yes.
And Chrissy says, and then we'll all ice skate home.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
Because hell would have frozen over.
Right, exactly. We're back in Ohio. Kathy's talking to her group, and she says that the last time that they went up against the ALDC, they were robbed. I agree.
Yeah.
And this week we're doing a number that's called The Love Letter, and it's based on the movie of The Fault in Our Stars.
That's what it's called. Thank you.
Yeah. Kathy says she wants to pull off the win of the century. Okay, great. No pressure. We go back to the ALDC, and we're getting the group dance, and Abby brings up that the last time Maddie had a duet with Gino, she didn't win. And she says it wasn't because of Maddie. And she's going to prove it wasn't because of her.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Kendall and Chloe are you paying attention?
Yes, Jason was asking if he needs to let Otis out.
No comment.
And the answer is no.
Okay, no comment.
Sorry, let it. That is a nice thing to do.
I know. That's why I'm not making a comment about it. But you know what I would say. Everybody knows. Kendall and Chloe are watching Maddie do the solo that the three of them are like competing to do. And they're like sitting on the ground. And Kendall and Chloe are watching Maddie, something that Abby has actively asked them to do many times. And then she looks at them and yells at them and says, get up and start working on something.
Yeah, work on something. Great, Abby.
Terrible
Good feedback.
educator. Yeah, terrible educator, terrible human being. Abby Lee Miller says, I don't know, get up and start working on something.
Do something. Awesome.
The mom's upstairs in the Lido deck. Jill says it's like a beautiful number, and Melissa's like, it would be a really good trio. She's like, the three girls should do it together. It could be like a trio.
Correct.
And Jill says that she could just throw in whoever, like one of the three. What? Just as she could just throw in whoever of the three of them. Oh, Jill is saying, like, they're all doing really well. It doesn't matter. Like, just like a couple weeks ago when Abby was like, I don't know who's going to do the solo. It's this person. She could do that again now.
Yeah.
And Melissa was like, well, just, like, Maddie has the solo. Kendall and Chloe are understudies. Which, like, she can't even pretend to be nice for that long. Like, that little, like, bitchy attitude has to make an appearance at some point.
Yeah.
She's being, like, really defensive for no reason.
And Chloe then she's, like, running the number or whatever. Abby is on her phone, will not even look up at her, and the moms notice that. They're like, she's literally sad. She's not even kind of pretending to pay attention to Chloe
she's, like,
at all.
fully checked out, yeah.
Totally.
And then Abby and G start to notice the sign. And they're wondering what they're keeping a tally of, because it doesn't say on the board what it is. It just has the names and the tallies. So they're, like, speculating about what they're keeping a tally of. And Gianna says, well, like, Maddie's name's not on it. And Gianna says, it's not solos. And Abby says, is it the number of times that they've run out of the room crying like an idiot? And then G says, no, Mackenzie's tally would be higher. And then they start giggling. Hear me out? Kind of funny.
Funny and extremely harmful.
Yeah, this was like pretty funny, but also I don't condone it. Christy notes that Abby and G are, so, like, it's notice you noticing me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Holly's like, if Abby stands behind her behavior, she shouldn't have a problem with us keeping a written record of it.
Yeah.
She's standing on business, so are we.
Yeah, know? Holly is wondering why Abby seems so upset.
Yeah, she's like, what's the big
deal?
It's
no different than keeping this tally on the phone. Yes, it is.
It's hugely different.
It's broadcasting it. It's not just to Abby, but so the kids can see it too.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what, like, I think that's fucking crazy. Yeah. Abby then says making that sign is a waste of time. Or she goes upstairs at this point. Yeah. She goes up to the Lido and says making that sign was a waste of time. Should have spent all that energy putting a brain in your kid's head. Maybe then they'd be getting solos and asked to be on Ellen and all this other stuff.
And to that I say, put some respect on P.A. Brandon's name. Because I know it was P.A. Brandon who had to print out the headshots and do the whiteboard this week.
Also,
put some respect on his name.
Also, Abby, shut the fuck up.
Also, Abby, shut up, maybe. We cut to a commercial. And we come back.
I almost knocked your microphone off. I grazed.
Just the tip. Please stop touching my tip. Enough.
Hello?
Stop it. No, look, he's upset too. The girls are rehearsing the group number, and Abby walks in and screams.
Yes.
Screams like
she shrieks.
Yes, screams as if she is in physical pain. And what it is like Mackenzie's foot was a little sickled. And Abby says that she's pigeon-toed, and her mom obviously didn't buy her corrective shoes or break her ankles.
Yeah, break her ankles so she can reset her feet.
Crazy, for the sake of dancing. That's the sound of a tummy being patted. Oh. Holly talks about the board, and she's like, there's no hiding from the truth. It just is what it is. And then we see, like, a montage of, like, corrections, tallies.
Abby just going
going nuts
and
on
all the moms
these,
just
like,
keep getting up
assaults,
and tallying.
Yeah. Abby at one point says Broadway Baby could have figured out something faster than one of the kids. That's super insane to say.
Yeah.
Abby one time says the girl in orange because she doesn't want to say the girl's name. She also
super dehumanizing.
Like that time that she called, I think it was Paige Blondie.
Yeah.
Go stand next to Blondie over there. Hey, insane.
Or that girl. She's said that too.
And Abby, her talking, it says that the board is a huge problem. She Donald Trumps it and says huge.
Playing the accordion.
Huge. Abby goes upstairs to talk to the moms, and she's like, girls, what the fuck is going on? And Abby claims that the moms are jealous, and why is Melissa... Oh, also... This isn't something Abby says. I haven't know. Why is Melissa sitting so weird? Did you notice how she was sitting?
No.
She wasn't... Okay.
I was basically blinded by rage at this point.
Be a visual moment. So she's not sitting...
Are you going to get up and twerk?
Crisscross applesauce. She's sitting like this. With
a lot of people do that.
On top of each other.
Not going to lie to you.
But she's sitting right at the edge of the stair, and at one point... She has one foot on the stair beneath her, and the other foot up like this, in flip-flops and shorts. Just, like, sitting so weird. I think because she's nervous and doesn't know what to do, but she's just sitting really weird. I don't know.
Interesting.
This, hitting one of these is crazy.
A lot of people do that.
She's in her 40s.
Yeah, she's flexible. I don't know.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. Sit crisscross applesauce like a regular person. Don't sit like that, you freak. Anyway. Where was I?
I'm surprised that struck you as so strange.
It did. Freak behavior, dude. A little freako. It's so weird.
It's not freaky.
It is freaky.
I guarantee you we have so many people that...
Yeah, but they're probably not Melissa. And they're probably not
What if Melissa writes in? How about that?
I'd be like, Melissa, babe.
Eat a dick.
Link to BetterHelp.com. Secondarily, you're a freak.
Yeah.
And I don't need a tally to remind me. I know you're a freak girl. Don't worry. Okay, Abby, her talking head says that they need to get some training and blah, blah, blah. It's like so weird. And she gives a really intimidating talk to the girls about respect and success and just like a bunch of bullshit.
Well, Abby, when she went upstairs, she says all the moms are jealous of Maddie. And I was like, they're jealous of Maddie. I think you want to be Maddie. Don't give me that shit.
I think you're projecting a little bit.
And Abby says like, well, this is my method. And Holly says, well, your method is flawed. Abby then in a talking head, because she's terrified to actually talk to Dr. Holly at this point.
Right.
Abby in her talking head says, all the kids get the same training. No, they don't. No, they do not, Abby.
They literally don't.
You see to it that they don't. Mm-hmm. Look at Iggy just put her ball on my shoe. Hang on. I gotta throw this thing. And you got a burp?
No. Did I start the camera? What an insanely chaotic episode, once again.
Oh, yeah.
Did I set a timer? Does anybody want to guess?
No, but it's only been like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Iggy's little toenails. Okay. Yeah, Abby's like, if they can't take it, you should take your kid, take your money, go somewhere else. Hey, they can't. They've signed contracts.
Yeah,
for
Abby,
the television program you're currently on, and you know that.
Well, and she does that to make it to
make them look.
It's
to
the
gaslight
illusion.
them.
It's the illusion of choice. Like they don't have to be here.
Like, no, they can't just leave. They literally can't.
Yeah.
And Abby tells Maddie that she hasn't heard anything from the people in Miami, and she's like, we need to figure out what the tea is because Kathy can't win this week, so we have to figure out what you're going to do.
Abby says to the kids, like, oh, you should hear your parents up there. They don't want you to get feedback and get better and blah, blah, blah. Insane.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Thank you. Insane.
Speaking of tallies, I should have kept a tally as soon as you were like, I'm not going to be gassy this episode.
I said I would be less
and how
gassy.
many times? I think it's like 5 or 6 at this point.
No, some of them I kept to myself.
You've had to stop and like hold it in. That
some
still
of them
counts.
I have kept to myself.
That still counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Okay, we're at the competition now. Screaming fans outside slay. Abby is on, or no, sorry, Kathy is on the phone.
This was
on the speaker
intercom.
the intercom PA system.
This was hilarious.
Yelling at Abby about how she needs to go to the principal's office.
She says, Abby, you've been a bad girl.
I hate this.
You're going to have to go to detention and bang erasers.
Oh, God. Enough.
I thought it was very funny.
I thought it was funny if no one else heard it. You know what I mean? But if I'm like some rando who just happened to be at that competition and I'm like putting on my strip lash in my green room and I hear that over the intercom, I'm going to be crying. Yeah, like that's insane.
Abby Lee Miller's in the building?
What the fuck? Yeah. Kathy sees Christy in a dress that's like really flowy and has like a lace overlay, and she asks her why she's wearing her grandma's curtains. Read.
Kathy, you fucking wish you looked half as good as Christy.
True.
You
and a great
wish.
Read. Why are you wearing your grandma's? What? Don't you think your grandma's missing her curtains? Read. They go to the green room. They're like, setting up and everything. They have brought the whiteboard with them. The whiteboard has made the journey.
That is producer saying you're doing this.
Exactly.
We didn't get enough out of it in the studio. You're bringing it to
yeah, it wasn't worth it yet. Maddie is here. I know. Maddie is here warming up. She's not in Miami like we thought she might be. But Chloe and Kendall are also warming up. And so Jill asked Abby, well, why don't you just enter all 3 of them and just pit them all against each other like you want to do all the time? And Abby in her talking head says that the moms think that they have an obligation to give their opinion, but she really doesn't give a shit.
That is fair. Jill also worded it. She says, can all 3 kids do their solo? It's not their solo.
Right.
It's Maddie's solo.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, that is a crazy request, but also, like, it is not all of their solo. Maddie is here. The deal was from the jump.
Right. Understudies if Maddie can't do it.
Yeah, but Maddie's here, so she's doing it.
She can't do it, right.
So shut up, Jill. They're bigger fish to fry.
And Abby pulls Jill aside, and she says...
That is crazy, first of all, that she pulls her aside.
Yeah, in the same room. And she goes, do you really want me to do that? She says, do you really want me to put your girl and Chloe up against Maddie? And Jill's like... Yes, and then Christy, the icon, says, hey, Jill and Abby, we're right here. Yeah. You're just on the other side of this room. We can hear y'all.
Do you think this is a private conversation?
And we can hear it. And Jill says that she's like, I just like when Kendall dances, and that would just make me happy.
We know that, Jill.
Yeah, and Abby...
And it is so strange that Jill would even say anything at this point. Girl, you are 2 weeks from Nationals. Kendall is in the inner circle. Shut up.
Jill, sit quietly.
Don't mess with a good thing. What are you doing?
Shut up and sit quietly.
You don't have to be on your bullshit. Go get it, Iggy. You don't have to be on your bullshit. Like, you're there. You're where you've wanted to be for like a year and a half now.
Shut up. Abby tells her that Kathy's next door, and she's like, if you don't like being here, you can go dance with Kathy. Not true. She signed a contract. And then Abby's like, all right, shut up. Maddie's the only one doing the solo. Everybody leave me alone. And Abby in her talking it says that she's not going to put all 3 on doing the same solo because that's fucking weird.
Yes, it is.
And also the moms want her to do it.
Although, she's done it before with 2.
True, but
she had 2 people do the exact same solo. Just fucking spread them out. I don't know.
True. Kathy and Gino kind of like lock in about how much they hate Abby before the commercial. They're like, we hate this bitch, right? Okay,
Kathy in her talking head says Gino has revenge in his heart, and that's good.
Okay.
And Gino's like, yeah, I just think Abby makes Maddie look better than she is.
Gino, 10 years old, being like, well, yeah.
Talking shit about the girl who was in 2 Sia music videos.
Yeah, okay, girl.
Yeah, I think Abby makes her look better.
Gino,
you don't have to do all that. Like, you don't.
Gino,
come on.
We cut to a commercial and then we come back. Gino goes first.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I saw a clip of like before I think it was when Tom Brady was playing with the Buccaneers and he won his 7th Super Bowl. Sure. But it was before that. It was like before the game. And someone was like, listen, I know what Tom Brady did in New England. That was all New England. He's with the Bucs now. He ain't all that. And then Tom Brady just crushed them in the like on the way to the Super Bowl or whatever. And that guy had to have like choked on his own foot.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what's being done here. Maddie is the Tom Brady of this of the ALDC. Like, you don't have to do all that, Gino. Stop.
It is unfortunately everybody wanted to know what would do if I didn't win.
I guess we'll never know.
It's awesome.
I guess we'll never know.
Gino goes first. Kathy says that he needs to have retribution against Abby.
I don't think that's the word you're looking for.
Okay, yeah. He slays. He does fine. Abby in her talking head makes a comment about how he looks better with clothes on and how he shouldn't be in booty shorts. Agree, bitch. He is really indecently exposed.
Yeah, the outfit choice was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Or lack of outfit, rather.
Yeah. Maddie goes next. Her hair is weird, but she also eats. And Abby says that it was pretty much flawless, and she was like, as a teacher, I'm looking for flaws, and I couldn't find one, whatever. The moms are in the green room talking about how Kendall and Chloe should have been able to do the solo too.
And Christy says, Abby's just scared of Chloe and Kendall. No, she's not.
Right. Well, right. And Jill asked Melissa why she didn't voice her agreement with them to Abby. Jill, that's not Melissa's job.
Yeah,
Melissa's not going to do that.
It's because Melissa's like, yeah, I think they would have looked great together as a trio. And Jill's like, well, why didn't you say anything? And you are absolutely correct. Why would she?
Why would she do that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. And Christy says that Melissa doesn't speak up for Mackenzie, so she wouldn't speak up for their kids.
Read.
Woof, but true.
Yeah, right in front of Melissa, like she's not even there. Just like, Jill, she wouldn't speak up for her own daughter. Why would she do it for our kids? Correct.
Yeah, true.
And she's like, her kids win on the back of our kids. There's no chance.
And correct. She's right. Abby comes into the green room and says that it's ugly. Oh, the whiteboard. She comes into the green room and sees the whiteboard and says it's ugly.
Yeah.
And Abby also, in her talking, it says it's distracting. And she's like, they can leave the teaching up to me, and I'll leave the bitching and complaining up to the moms.
No.
And Christy says it's not about corrections. It's about
putting them down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the board, we're not tallying when you have to correct them.
It's not correction.
It's about disrespect. Yeah, yes. Holly then adds, like, the tics are about being disrespectful. And Abby, who brought it up, it was either Christy or Jill, says, like, for example, when you're telling Maddie that her posture is bad, like, oh, she must be hanging out with Kendall too much. Like, you're giving Maddie a correction and still finding a way to be shitty about and like Kendall.
Right.
That's the point.
Right.
So, yeah, Holly's like, it's just for being disrespectful. And then Abby just goes, you know what? I had a beautiful piece for Nia next week. About a tribute to Maya Angelou, and I said, oh yeah, totally. But now Nia can take those big flat feet somewhere else. And then she says, I could care less. I couldn't care less, Abby.
Yeah, true. And Holly says, what kind of 40-something-year-old woman, those are her words, what kind of 40-something-year-old woman needs to retaliate against a child?
And Abby cuts her off and is like, me, I do.
And she says she's taking these out on a little kid. Abby says, I'm not taking anything out on her. And Nia is 12. She could be getting married and having kids in some countries. Holy shit.
Well, because Holly says, yeah, you're taking this out on a little kid. Abby says, she's not a little kid. She's 12. She can have children. She can get married in some countries.
Hey, what?
All right.
What?
Abby has said some legitimately shocking things.
This and kissing Maddie on the mouth are like
way up there.
Set apart from you're not worth my energy.
Way up there.
Two totally different.
You're not worth my energy is incredibly harmful and terrible and
calling
hurtful.
Someone hey blondie is bad, but saying she could be getting married and having kids by now when she's not even 13, is nuts. That's nuts.
Can we put Abby in prison again?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Just for being a bag of shit.
Yeah, literally being a shitbag. Also, Holly says she's a nasty woman. Clock it. I walked it back a couple times. That's not what Holly said. That's what we heard. But what Holly says in that clip, if you mute it, is you are a nasty ass woman.
Hell
and
yeah.
they cut out the word ass. I don't know why. I guess it's a cuss word, ? But they cut it out.
Yeah, they never cuss.
But if you mute it, because I was like, that audio and that video don't sync up. Like, what is that? And I muted it, and I just watched her mouth, and she says, you are a nasty ass woman.
Yeah, Holly gets up and says, she says, I'm walking out. What you're saying is so ugly, and you're a nasty ass woman. You crossed the line. Mm-hmm. As if she hasn't before. But this was up there with one of the worst interactions.
That's an insane thing to say, yeah.
Commercial!
When we come back, Christy says she's going to get up and go to the woman that she supports, period. So she follows Holly out. And all the other moms follow out Holly too. And Holly's like, I'm not talking about anything with these cameras here. So the cameras leave, the other moms leave. I'm guessing a producer stays and talks to Holly. But they like give Holly some space, and then Holly comes out and she's like, all right, we need to go get these girls ready for the group number. We need to get it together. And they're like, are you good? Herself. And she's like, we're going. And they're like, heard. And so they rally around Holly and they go. The girls are getting ready, and Holly just tells them. Abby walks out of the green room because she's being an asshole.
Well, before that, Abby in her talking head says, I'm just downright mad. And my comment was, ooh, Holly really got to you.
Yeah.
Abby's so mad that she's like,
because
she doesn't
Abby's
even
jealous
have,
of Holly.
She doesn't even have words and has to leave.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
she really
really
got to
angry.
her.
Like, yep, Holly fucked you up, didn't she?
Yeah. And the girls, like, Holly just tells them, like, treat this as if it's nationals. You know, like, get ready like you're getting ready for nationals. Because Abby's not there and they don't know what to say because they're not their teacher. The moms go into the audience to watch. Kathy's group number goes first. Kathy and her talking is as other boxers going into the ring. And they like, it's fine. What I hated was that the girl lead has like a breathing tube in her nose like Shea Woodley did in The Fault in Our Stars movie. Oh. But it's dumb because she has this little breathing tube that's connected to nothing. It's like tucked into the back of her dress. Yeah. Because she doesn't have an oxygen tank. And also, you don't need that to make this number work. It's kind of fucking stupid.
Poor artistic choice, I think.
Yeah, and then you bought a breathing tube from a medical supply place, took it away from somebody who needed it, and cut it up for your dance concert?
I mean.
The fuck? No. And the ALDC girls are backstage, the moms are out in the seats, and we hear an announcement that the group number was cut.
I was gagged.
I was gagged. Face crack. Gagged, gooped, and plucked. I could not believe.
What the hell does that mean?
They all mean the same thing. You need to get up on your Drag Race lingo, girl. People be saying that all the time on Drag Race.
We're working on it.
We need to work on it more. I was plucked that had happened. That was crazy. And the girls go out to Abby and the audience with the moms, and everybody else who's there is hitting one of these. Or they're filming because the girls are in the audience. They're like this. And Abby's like, well, your mom's pissed me off when I pulled the number. But Gia says to them backstage, this has nothing to do with you all.
This was one of the craziest things I've ever seen on the show.
She broke through the wall of producers who were like, do not comfort them. Let them free.
Yeah.
She's like, this has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, Gia comes over and says, the dance being withdrawn has nothing to do with you. It's because of how your mothers treated Abby in the dressing room. And I said, fuck you, Gia, you fucking snake.
Yeah, no, literally.
Just being the mouthpiece for evil. She's like the mouth of Sauron in Lord of the Rings.
I took it the other way. I was thinking that Gia was trying to be comforting to them.
But
to be like,
putting their moms down.
Oh,
she says it's because of how your mothers treated Abby in the dressing room.
That's fair.
No, it's because Abby is a hypocrite, is a horrible teacher and person, and cannot take it when she dishes it out. She cannot do it.
No, you're right.
It's not how the moms treated her.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Gia.
Yeah, you're right. It's not the mom's fault.
Since you told me that she is still friends with Abby Lee Miller,
they're BFFs.
After all of this, I'm so anti-Gia.
Yeah.
I hope she steps on a Lego.
Abby and her talking, it says she's not going to give them a chance to win because of the way that the moms acted.
Yeah, no, fuck you, Abby.
Kathy asks, because Kathy's sitting behind them, like, why didn't you enter the number? Kathy gives him the silent treatment, and Kathy goes, oh, this is what we get. The silent treatment, like being kind
the
of
back of the head.
bitchy and annoying about it.
Good. Keep that up, Kathy, actually.
Good on you, Kathy. We get to the awards, and Abby in her talking head says that all she really needs out of all this is just that Maddie beats Gino.
Yeah, she's like, awesome. Even though the group won't do anything, at least I still have Maddie.
And Gino gets second, and Maddie gets first. Slay.
Yeah.
Maddie in her talking head says that she's happy she beat Gino, but it's a bonus if she won't have to kiss him again, which is great.
She's like, I won't even have to... Yeah,
I don't have to kiss him. And then Jill in her talking head says that she thinks that it's just because Abby didn't want to lose against Kathy. Babe, the candy apples get fourth.
Yeah.
That was not the problem. This was a power move. This was Abby whipping out her dick to make sure that y'all know how big it is. Like, that's literally all this was. She's not afraid of anything other than defiance. So, like, it's not about losing. It's about you guys being oppositionally defiant with her.
Yeah, Abby's real proud of her 4-incher.
Yeah, for real. 4-incher hard, too. Not even flaccid.
Yeah, no one gives the measurement soft. If you do that, you're a psycho.
I have a jalapeno in my eye.
Why? Where did you get a jalapeno from?
My refrigerator.
Was it jalapeno business?
That's jalapeno in my eye now.
No.
It hurts. Jalapeno business. Okay, anyway. Abby or talking says that this has nothing to do with the candy apples and it's about her being in control. She straight up is like, fuck you. I pulled it because I hate y'all.
Basically. I'm proving a point. And I don't care who it hurts.
It just kind of devolves in the green room to just a bunch of bullshit. There's no fight, really. The fight was Holly that we saw earlier.
Well, what's strange is the moms were kind of like talking, like they were clearly like very mad. Iggy, shush. They were clearly very mad in the green room. Abby then parades in like woo-hooing and holding Maddie's trophy up in the air like this. And Abby then says like, oh, I'm not sure about nationals if this is going to happen again. Then Abby, like, there's some back and forth, and Abby says, I didn't sign up for you. Yeah, you signed up for me. And Holly in her talking head is just like, this is not the right environment for me or my child.
They kind of bitch at each other for a while. Abby tells Holly that Nia's Maya Angelou solo has been pulled. Or benched.
Like, what do you mean? Yeah, you're just lying. You probably didn't have anything.
Right, and we don't know. You didn't say that was a possibility until you were using it against someone.
Right.
And that's fucked up and awful.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's so, just, like, if it's giving lie.
It's giving liar.
It's giving a lie.
It's, okay, also more Drag Race terms. This one's for free for y'all at home who don't know. You know what boots means, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you could say, so if I wanted to say it's really giving liar, how would I frame that using the word boots?
I don't know.
It's giving liar boots.
Okay.
It's giving liar the house. It's giving liar boots the house realness for your nerves.
I just wish that like some semblance of proper grammar was utilized.
I told you about kudos to you, Mama, for slang.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the worst part. And Plain Jane has redacted that and been like, I shouldn't have said that when
at least it was proper grammar.
Yeah, true. When I can't remember who it was, but one of the girls on her season was talking about how she had recently been diagnosed with HIV.
Yeah.
And Plain Jane was comforting her and said, kudos to you, Mama, for spilling.
Yeah.
Someone was like, hey, can we not? I know. I've taken so many pictures of her during this episode. It's crazy. She has like that weird Joker face. Egg. Girl. Okay, anyway, that's the end of the episode. It's very sad, obviously. And I don't really have any more thoughts about it, to be totally honest.
I do. Okay. So not like a lot of thoughts about it. I just typed out in my notes, how the fuck are there more seasons of this show? I truly don't understand.
And we haven't even gotten to JoJo Siwa yet, girl.
Dude, I don't know how I'm going to do it.
I don't either.
I don't know how I'm going to do it.
We'll probably quit before it's all said
How
and
did
done.
any of y'all do it?
Yeah, for
any of y'all that have like gotten in this show, I don't understand.
I don't understand.
Like, you still have hair on your head.
Yeah, I don't get it.
All of our people start writing and like sending pictures of themselves just bald.
Yeah, there's a bunch of eggs.
With wrinkles on their face, just sobbing constantly. Yeah, this show is doing a number on my psyche.
Yeah, same. I'm straight up not having a good time anymore. What's your song of the week? Beach.
It is a celebration song by Unwritten Law. It is a song that is off the Need for Speed Underground 2 soundtrack.
Okay, girl.
It's so good, dude.
Okay, Diva.
I'm going to tell you. How do I add this to... Oh, add to playlist. Jesus, I'm such a boomer.
True.
What's yours?
My song of the week.
Oh, boy.
I'm so excited. You bitches don't even fucking know.
There you go. 10 minutes about a song.
I'm going to make you listen to this.
Amanda makes me listen to it and recites every single lyric to me. And it's like, isn't this so great?
No, because someone, me, has to do all the editing work for this episode that goes up in 3 hours. So, no. It's a song called Spelling Bee by Amelia Moore. I'm going to make you listen to a little bit of it before you leave.
Bananas.
And Amelia Moore is awesome. If you are not on her, you need to be. She does like R&B stuff. Her vocal runs are insane. She has a project that's called...
R and Spelling Bee?
She has a... What?
R and Spelling Bee. Because it's called Spelling Bee. And it's R&B.
She has a project that's
Would you give that joke a B?
You know what I would give a B? Your inability to let women speak. That's what I would give a B. Or your ability, rather, to let women speak would get a B. Anyway, she has a project out that's called Teaching a Robot How to Love. It's very good. It's like very the vibe of like, the man I'm interested in doesn't feel anything. You don't feel it all, but I feel everything. It's like, how do you not care when I care so much? Teaching a Robot How to Love. And then she's coming out with an album, or an EP or something that's called He's Not That Into You or something like that. And it's all, she's been putting out like little singles everywhere. Sure. Spelling Bee is the one that the first time I heard it a couple months ago when I heard the teaser online, I have been like counting down the days until it was released, and it's so good. I love that song so much. Oh, yeah. The Tizo touchdown portion is a little corny, but other than that, it's a good song. I'm bumping that shit. It's on my summer playlist. I'm very excited.
Might I hear it at the pool someday?
If you're cool enough to get to go to the pool, maybe I'll think about it. But right now, thin ice, brother.
Don't worry, I got a pair of real cheap sunglasses and 5-inch inseam swim trunks. Let's go.
I'm upset. Ig, do you have any other thoughts? Sorry, Iggy was being such a whiny little bitch baby tonight, but she's being extra needy.
Oh my god, this is crazy. She's
so cute though, dude.
Just flopping around.
Flailing around. You gotta get on this footage if you're not already. If you feel like sending us an email, our email is thepyramidpodcast@gmail.com. I read all of them, don't worry.
We will read more on the podcast this coming week.
Yes.
There's just too much crazy shit on this episode that we had to get to.
Yeah, if you can't tell. DM us on Instagram if you feel like it. If you want to talk about books, you can DM me specifically on Instagram. My Instagram is @notamandab_. His Instagram is @Eli_farmer_. Our Instagram handle is @thepyramidpod. And yeah, you can get into contact with us through any of those things. If you work at BagSmart and you want to sponsor me, let me know.
You want to work at Olipop and you want to sponsor Amanda's esophagus? Yeah.
My esophageal tract. You absolutely can. And I guess that's it. Good luck on your finals. Good night, Alyssa. Thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye!
I was just going to say good luck on your finals no matter what.
Good lick on your finals?
Ew, I said good luck.
It sounded like you said lick, you weirdo.
Well, that's because you're just hearing what you want to hear.